Fidelity. What's it cost to invest with the Fidelity app?
Start with as little as $1 with no account fees or trade commissions on U.S. stocks and ETFs.
That's music to my ears.
I can only talk.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Zero account fees apply to retail brokerage accounts only. Sell order assessment fee not included. A limited number of ETFs are subject to a transaction-based service fee of $100. See full list at fidelity.com/commissions. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
This episode is brought to you by Coffee Mate. After watching this season of the HBO's original series, The White Lotus, this is the tropical getaway I needed. One more pina colada, please.
Hey, you're not on mute.
Oh, I thought I was in paradise. Turns out it was my Coffee Mate. Coffee Mate pina colada and Thai-iced coffee-flavored creamers. Inspired by the newest season of HBO's original series, The White Lotus. For the love of coffee. Try now.
What makes this just so appalling and so upsetting for everybody in the neighborhood is that there's 3 other attacks that have happened. These are all signed affidavits that we have filed with animal control.
This is the plaintiff, Craig Delk. He says he was riding his bike when the defendant's dog charged at him, jumped him, and bit his leg. The defendant's dog is vicious, a menace who terrorizes the neighborhood. This is his 7th attack, and he must be stopped before the thing kills someone. He's suing for $2,500 for medical bills and pain and suffering. This is the defendant, Chad Turnbow. He says his dog Zane isn't aggressive. It's the plaintiff who has it out for his dog, and he intentionally baits him to come over to him when he rides on his bike. Zane did jump up to greet him. He may have scratched his leg. The doctor's visit cost $100 because there was nothing wrong with him, and all this guy's looking for is a big payout. He's accused of a doggy dilemma. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $2,000 for stress and slander.
All parties, please use your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
Craig Delk, you are suing Chad Turnbaugh because his dog attacked you, and not for the first time. Tell me what is going on.
Thank you, Your Honor, for hearing the case this morning. This is a very serious matter in the neighborhood. We have a total of 6 attacks. My first introduction to the dog was on October 1st when my girlfriend and I...
What year?
2017, Your Honor. We were riding our bikes. We were 2.5 blocks from the defendant's home when the pit bull ran up and attacked my 2 dogs.
Did you see where the dog came out of, or no?
No, but I knew that he had the dog. I know the dog because I'm his neighbor.
So your dogs, how many dogs? You had 2 dogs at the time?
I had 2 dogs at that time.
And they were on a leash while you're riding your bike?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
The dog came up and bit one dog, and then my dog protected itself, and it was a tit for tat, until the dog realized that it, wasn't going to win the fight, and kind of just
Now, what
went
kind of dogs
off.
do you have?
A pit bull and a lab mix.
And then he has a pit bull.
And he has a pit bull.
Okay, go on.
Okay. The 25th of October, one of my dogs passed away to cancer, so I had the one dog. I came out at 8:15 in the morning. I noticed that his kids and wife were in the front yard getting ready to go to school. All of a sudden, one pit bull came running out of the house and attacked my dog. And, I was grabbing the dog when all of a sudden his other pit bull came out and attacked my dog. I was trying to prevent his dogs from locking onto my dog. And I'm kicking him and I'm hitting both the dogs with everything I got, yelling and screaming at his wife to come and help, to come get the dogs. A split second, they let go, and I picked my dog up. When I did that, they attacked me.
Okay.
One dog attacked my feet, bit me on my knees.
This happened when?
The 25th of October, 2017.
Okay.
Just a couple weeks later from the first attack.
Okay. Were you injured in the first attack?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
No.
you went to court on that on the October attacks, right, of
The
2017?
25th of October, yes, Your Honor.
All right. And did you two settle?
I got a judgment against him. He made 4 payments, and I had to file that he defaulted on that.
So what's going on with collecting the rest of that money?
We have ongoing litigation.
All right. So go on. What happens next?
Okay. I was riding my bike
When?
May 29th, 2018.
Okay.
I was a block down the street. I get to the corner, and I see his pit bull running down the street.
Did you have your dogs with you this time?
No,
Okay.
no. I was riding on my own.
Okay.
And he was jumping up, trying to knock me off the bike. And when he was jumping up about the 4th or 5th time, he took a chunk of bite. He bit me on my calf. And after he bit me, I kicked him really hard in the stomach, and I turned right and went down the street, and he kept chasing me, and I heard the defendant's wife yelling at the dog. Well, she finally got in the truck and came down the street to get the dog, and I got off my bike and hid behind some cars.
Okay.
I ditched the dog, and I was hiding behind some cars, and then finally she was able to get the dog in the truck and took it home.
Okay.
And then I went home and called the police and the animal control, and
Okay. So you had said in the beginning of this lawsuit that there were 6 or 7 times. The other 3 happened to other people?
Yes, Your Honor. While all this is going on, what makes this just so appalling and so upsetting for everybody in the neighborhood is that there's 3 other attacks that have happened. These are all signed affidavits that we have filed with animal control. He's been fined. Animal control, when they go over to his house, they don't answer the door. They forget, they don't answer the door, they ignore them, they ignore the phone calls, the
But I
letters.
understand. Why does animal control isn't like a powerless dummy, or they shouldn't be.
Right.
You know, if they are trying to, you had said in your complaint that they have a seize order that he's supposed to turn in the dog. Where did you get that? Do you have that in writing somewhere? Because he denies that that's true.
He has told the judges when we were in court that he was going to surrender the dog.
To whom?
To animal control.
Did the judge order you to surrender the dog?
I did surrender my dog.
Did the judge order you to surrender the dog?
No, Chad.
No.
Surrender.
Give up the dog.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. When you say I did surrender my dog, you were going to say quarantine. You're talking about the quarantine.
Yes.
All right. So then the dog. Why don't you can stand, right?
Yes.
Come on up here. I can't hear you from that chair. You're not
Sorry.
mic'd. That's okay. All right. So the dog has been quarantined how many times?
Once for
All
10
right.
days.
How many times has your dog gotten out?
The dog's gotten out about probably
5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does this keep happening?
The last time he got out, the little boy across the street, he happens to come over when the kids are at school, and he'll open up the door to see if I'm home. And now we lock the door because the last time the dog
Why does
got
it take
out.
6 times? And not only that, you've got video of the dog running loose after biting him. I mean, your dog gets loose all the time. Why? Who keeps opening the door and letting the dog out?
The
or who
kids.
keeps leaving the door unlocked? Well, no, see, the kids are kids. That's why,
Right.
you know? But you're the adults. Why aren't the 2 of you making sure your pit bull doesn't roam the neighborhood?
Right.
Without you having it on a leash?
Right.
But you guys, this appears to have happened over and over and over. Let me see the affidavits from the other people. Did those people, when you say affidavits, are these animal control complaints?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right.
Those are notarized complaints.
So you have the whole neighborhood is angry at you. Mm-hmm. Your dog,
Zane,
is how old?
he's 3.
And do you want to tell me how sweet-natured he is?
He is a good dog.
He does party tricks?
He jumped. He thought it was great when he was jumping on the trampoline a week before that.
Well, he apparently thinks it's so good he videoed it. I got to see this. Is that your dog jumping on the trampoline?
With the kids, yeah.
I don't see the kids. I just see the dog.
Just the dog.
Yeah, because they're on the trampoline.
No, they're not.
How old are your kids?
My kids are 9 and 7.
They should be jumping higher than the dog. What the heck? I don't see the dog.
They
might not have been.
It doesn't mean, look, maybe they weren't there. That's what I
But
think. I
normally
think
they
weren't
do
there.
play on the trampoline with my dog.
You don't even have to walk this dog. You can just
The driveway is the concrete.
Has the dog ever jumped off from the trampoline?
No.
Yeah, I don't think it gets that high, although
No.
who's that coming by?
Yeah, that's another neighbor.
Zane's obviously not going berserk, is he?
You know, honey, please don't cop an attitude, because your dog has gotten out.
I realize that.
Yeah, I know. Your dog can't just keep getting out. Okay?
And we have every intention on sending him someplace else to live.
Except for you haven't. So I don't want to hear about your intentions. Intentions mean nothing to me. action means something to me. And now this is a video of the dog out and the family trying to leash the dog and bring the dog back in?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And this video was taken when?
The dates on the video, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was recent because he was attacked on the 29th of December.
Was he attacked or approached?
February 26th. There's no. See, here's the thing. You seem to think attacked or approach makes a difference. Show me your injuries. Let's see your injuries from the approach.
That's the bite when I was riding my bike, Your Honor.
Yeah. You didn't end up with stitches or anything, right?
I did not.
Okay. Did you have to get a tetanus shot?
I did.
Do you have the medical record so I can see what you went through?
Yes.
How short are your shorts? What do you want? I mean, it's Florida and all, but you're on a sidewalk here. What's going on?
Yeah, I pulled up my leg a little bit there.
Okay, gotcha. All right, let me hear from you. Okay, what's your defense to this case? The questions get harder from here, honey.
Chad?
I don't
you
know.
can talk
I know
for him
my
if he's
dog's
shy.
not supposed to get out. I just,
You just think he's hamming it up?
He's a good dog. I do. I think he's hamming it up.
Okay.
I mean, because I get hurt all the time at work. I'm a construction. I build houses.
Maybe you're just tougher than the rest of us.
It's like I get a little scratch. It's like, big deal. I walk it off,
Right.
And if that were to happen, I understand that he's upset about my dog. But
when do people have a right for you guys to do what everybody else has to do, which is not let your dog out?
I understand, but everybody has been told by him that he's this horrible dog, and he's really not a horrible dog.
No. Let me just say something. Your dog's the best dog in the world.
No.
I'm going to show that trampoline video to my kids. I think it's awesome. But we're not, when we go to court, we're not punishing the dog. We're punishing you too. You understand? Like any remedy that happens in this court is about your behavior. Mm-hmm. You understand? Not the dog's behavior. The dog is a dog. You guys keep letting it out. I don't blame the dog for going out if you keep letting it out. What seems to be the problem? That you don't have a lock on the door that your children are how old?
7 and 9.
So a 9-year-old can reach any lock. And when are you going to educate your children that there's a consequence to letting the dog out? There's a consequence. And if you can't abide by it, you are not a responsible pit bull owner.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Are pit bulls more vicious than the average dog?
I'm sorry, I have no idea what to say.
Oh, okay.
I can do this.
Okay.
No.
Why?
Because they're the same as every other dog. We just stigmatize them to be.
Well, we stigmatize them, but we have a lot of cases involving pit bulls in People's Court that attack.
It is the owner's fault, not the dog's fault. It's who raises them and trains them. They are as nice as their trainer makes them be.
You believe that?
Yes, I do.
That it's the owner?
Yes.
So the pit bull owners tend to be more aggressive than the average dog owner?
No.
I think the answer has to be yes, right? Well, think about it, get back to me. Going inside the courtroom.
So what is the subject of your lawsuit is people hate you because your dog keeps getting out and that's his fault.
He's gone to every neighbor, and I've had him, I go out on my back porch and he's over there screaming and cussing. And then he walks up to my girl while she's taking my sons to school. He cuts her off in his van and says, I'm a gun owner, and next time I'm going to shoot your dog. I've got all these things happening.
Yes. Tell me about
to
that.
her,
Hold on a second.
me.
Yeah, let me hear from her.
Make a police report about it.
What happened? Tell me.
After the first incident, when I was walking the children to school, he cut us off.
Okay.
And
blocking your continued path?
Yes,
okay,
blocking our continued path. And in front of my 7 and 9-year-old, he said, I'm just letting you know, I am a licensed gun. I'm licensed to carry a concealed weapon, and I will make sure I am going to get both of your dogs put down, or I will shoot them myself.
And shoot them myself if they attack me again, or shoot them myself?
Just plain out, he said shoot them myself.
All right.
I was so shaken, I called the cops.
Hold on a second. Let me hear from you on what happened there.
I don't know what she's talking about. This is complete perjury. I have never done that.
Did you ever pull up and say, I have a CCF permit?
No.
And, okay.
No.
Do you know
Myself and all the neighbors have been nothing but polite, and we have asked him, when the neighbors were outside with their grandkids, that they can't even go out because the dog is about to jump over the fence.
He's not going to jump over the fence.
I think that it's far more likely that these two incredibly inconsiderate people will let the dog out, or their negligent children will let the dog out.
Yeah.
Somebody is clearly negligent there because it keeps happening.
Yeah.
You can only see this much of the dog on the trampoline.
So he was over there,
If you talk to him one more time, I'm going to lose my mind.
I was saying
I need you to stop.
Okay.
Okay? Because you two have no moral high ground here. You continuously think the neighborhood belongs to you. There's a reason why there's complaint after complaint after complaint from people. The neighborhood doesn't belong to you. Okay? And if you don't know how to be a responsible pit bull owner, it's not on the dog, it's on you. I am not punishing Zane. I'm sure Zane is lovely. I can't get enough of Zane on that trampoline. But you two I've had enough of. So, as for pain and suffering, I am going to amend your pleadings to conform to the evidence. What that means is that when you have a right to something, but you're coming through it through the wrong vehicle, and a judge hears it, and a judge feels it very strongly, they can change the vehicle. Your vehicle was pain and suffering. They're right. You got caught. It wasn't like a major attack. You're entitled to $100 on that attack. But you know what else you're entitled to? That $2,400, not for pain and suffering on that attack. I'll give it to you already for punitive damages, because you guys have to stop. You don't own the street he walks on. He doesn't have to live like that in fear. All these other people don't have to live like that in fear. Verdict for the plaintiff, $2,500 on your counterclaim. Do not make me laugh. Now, I'm stunned that with all of these complaints, Animal Control has not already filed a case in the county court to go ahead and have the dog seized.
We're working on it, Your Honor.
Yeah. I mean, there's video. There's 5 people with an incentive to video you guys every time your dog gets out. This is probably the worst negligence I've ever seen in all of my years on the bench in Miami and here, of people who just can't seem to get out of their own way. Everybody who's living in your house keeps letting that dog out. It's a problem, and it's on video, and there's an organized effort to just seize the dog from you, which means that the dog is going to get put down. Do you want that? No, then get that dog another home. On your counterclaim, 0. On his claim against you, $2,500.
Pissed her off.
I did?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you? You're the one.
Douglas, I need the paperwork out.
You weren't talking, stupid.
So in the suit and countersuit between 2 pit bull owners, the plaintiffs prevail, no question about it. The judge has called you incredibly inconsiderate. How do you respond to that?
I'm just bummed that I got to lose my dog. But,
nobody said you had to lose your dog yet. I mean, the dog's going to lose his life.
He's got to go.
Let me ask you a question. What's the big fascination with pit bulls for you?
My kids love him, and he's a good dog. He's not a bad dog.
All right, you're going to have to do something. The neighborhood hates you, you know? Yeah. Good luck to you, all right? All right, Mr. Delk. You feel better now?
I do. It's a real serious problem that we've been fighting with for 2 years. Another neighbor had to fight it off with a shovel. I've been mauled and bit. It's just a real problem, and we've worked with them. We have been asking and asking. Everybody has been polite. Everybody has been kind to them.
The judge gave you some good advice. Push harder to try and get the dog removed by Animal Control.
We are. That's the next step, for them to deem this dog dangerous and surrender.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
It's time you do it, okay? Fascinating case, Harvey. What do you think?
I mean, look, Doug, if an animal, a dog in your neighborhood is out of control, you got to call the Department of Animal Control. They can do something about it, and ultimately, if they need to, remove the dog from the neighborhood. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey guys, back at the playground again, huh?
Yep. You know what this playground could use? A wine country.
Heck yeah, and some waves, so we could go surfing. Oh,
Ah, love that.
A redwood forest would be cool.
I'm in.
Ah, ski slopes.
Let's do it.
Can a girl go shopping?
Yeah, baby.
Wait! Did we just invent California?
Discover why California is the ultimate playground at visitcalifornia.com.
This is the plaintiff, Crystal Graham. She says she was subjected to unhealthy living conditions in the apartment she rented from the defendant, who was the epitome of a slumlord. That's right, the place she rented was infested with mold. It grew on her shoes, in her closet. The defendant did nothing to remedy the situation, and she incurred damages in the amount of $5,000. And she's seeking just that from the court today. This is the defendant, Nick Vulis. He says the plaintiff complained about her moldy shoes in the closet, but the boxes she stored the shoes in were moldy, and he thinks they were that way when she moved in. Bottom line, the woman vacated the place. She still owes rent, and this woman's nothing more than a scammer. He's accused of not taking things seriously.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff rented a place from the defendant. It was so bad mold was growing on her shoes. But the defendant says the plaintiff's a scammer. It's the case of your shoes break the mold.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Graham, how long have you been living there?
About a year and a half.
All right, are you still living there?
No, I am not.
Or when did you move out?
December 15th.
Now, you, the problems first came up when you noticed what?
Mold.
Where?
On my shoes.
Did you call him?
Not right away. I did text his girlfriend, and I told her, I have mold on my shoes. This was in June of 2018, and she said that they will install a vent in the room and in the closet.
And what happened?
Nothing. They told me to put the fan on and that they will work on getting a vent in. I have not heard anything from them. No progress was made. I sent him photos of the shoes, of the mold. And I left with my dog. I did not feel comfortable.
When did you leave?
September.
Okay, so these are the moldy shoes?
Yes.
And where had those shoes been stored?
I've had shoes in the closet, outside of the closet, and by the side of my bed as well.
Anywhere else?
No.
So did you send him the pictures?
I did.
And what did he say?
I'll work on it.
Okay, so tell me, she's been bringing up the problem since June, she says. Is that true?
No, July was when she brought up the problem.
Okay.
And I went down and treated the place.
Well, how'd you treat the place?
With mold inhibitor.
Okay, do you have any pictures of any mold on anything that's not your shoes, like the walls?
I do.
Okay, and did you introduce these into evidence?
I do not have it on the walls. I have it on hangers, and I have it on a case.
Is it in this group of pictures?
It should be, yes. Oh, that's the picture there.
Where? We'll go ahead and walk over to the TV.
Sure.
Please.
This one right here.
Okay, what's that a picture of?
Those are the hangers, and you can see the mold growing around it.
Yep.
And then this right here is another one.
And what is that?
That is the case. I have my massage table inside of that, and on the outside you see it. That was just in the apartment.
So did anybody bring in a dehumidifier to try to?
I've had a dehumidifier, and he's told me to only run it 4 hours on the weekend, otherwise it will run up the electricity bill.
Because electric is included?
Yes.
All right, so you move out, go ahead and go back. So you move out in September because you don't want to live there anymore under these conditions. And do you have a lease?
No lease.
No lease. So you move out in September. Do you tell him when you're moving out?
I told him that I was leaving until the problem was fixed.
Okay. Did you ever go back there?
He called me and said I could come back October 10th.
Did you come back?
I did, and those pictures are because every time I went there, I would take a picture of the progress that was being done.
So tell me about the work that was being done. What was it you decided to do?
Okay, so after she complained about the mold, she decided to leave the house. Then there was a period of time where I didn't do anything, about a week, until I was waiting for my friend to come and help me with tearing out the walls to see if there was any mold in the foundation behind the walls. I was concerned also for my well-being as well as hers.
Were you living there?
I was, and I still am.
Okay.
So when we tore the walls down, we didn't find a stitch of
But
mold.
didn't you? Why don't you just hire a mold guy to come and tell you what's going on? You know.
At the time, I'm not working, and I couldn't afford to have anybody come in and
But
do
isn't
that.
it more money to tear down walls than to hire the mold guy? How much was the mold guy going to charge?
It just, I did the tearing down all myself, so that was the way I was able to afford to do that.
But we didn't find out what the problem was that way.
Well, there was no mold.
There was no mold there, but there's mold all over her stuff. How's it getting there?
Okay, well, I think the mold happened because of the non-cleanliness of the apartment.
Was there mold anywhere else in the apartment?
There was mold in the corner where her dog was, in that corner where her dog would sleep. There was some.
Do you have a picture of it?
I do.
May I see it? Because I'm looking at pictures of the place. It doesn't look like she kept it particularly filthy.
Okay, so these are some pictures of when I turned over the couch and looked behind the couch.
It's a bunch of dog hair. This is what was underneath there.
That's the couch, and then the clean part is where the couch ends. So I just turned over the couch, and this is what I found.
What is this? That's a comb, but what's the rest of the white stuff?
It's all dog hair that was underneath the couch.
But what are the round white things?
I don't know. I just cleaned.
So you don't pick up much under the couch, huh?
Not weekly, as I clean everything else.
I mean, weekly, I mean, ever. But, so did she leave the sofa behind?
The sofa we left for her when she moved in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what you're suing for. You have a security deposit that was a 2-month security deposit, $2,600, correct?
It was not.
According to you, it's how much?
It's 1 month security deposit.
Do we have an original lease that would tell us how much it was?
No.
She's lying, Your Honor.
Okay, hold on one second. Was your security deposit $1,300 and you're doubling it, or was it $2,600?
It was $2,600.
You're going to have to prove that.
Okay.
Because typically it isn't 2 months.
I do not have anything.
Okay, but wait a minute. Stop chiming in. And why don't you have the proof right now? You're suing for it. Why would you walk into court without the proof that you paid it?
So if you rent an apartment that has mold in it, can you automatically break the lease, move out, and get your deposit back?
I should hope so. My health is more important than his lease.
Do you have to give the landlord a chance to get rid of the mold and ride it out?
Yeah, if they get rid of the mold, then you should be able to move back in, but your health is more important than the mold.
Okay, what do you say?
That I think we can go out, but I think we should do something. I don't know.
Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
I could not get a receipt from this guy.
What do you mean a receipt? Did you pay cash?
I did.
Then your hand doesn't let go of the cash.
I understand.
That's not someone else's fault. That's the idiot who's giving away thousands of dollars and doesn't insist on proof. Grab the nearest roll of toilet paper and a crayon and write down a receipt. It's not, I couldn't get a receipt out of this guy. Could you believe him? You don't let go of money without a receipt. It's the person with the money. Just don't let go. You'll see how fast they'll write it down. Anything. Yeah, I acknowledge I just got $2,600. Do you have a lease?
I don't.
Everything is verbal with you.
Yes, ma'am.
So how does a person even prove that they have a security deposit with you?
I don't know. But what I'm saying the truth, and
Oh, wait, and what are you saying? Are you saying the truth too?
She's lying. She's lying. I can tell you that.
Well.
She only gave me $1,300 as a security
deposit. We're dealing with the $1,300 figure because you are acknowledging the $1,300 figure. If you walked in here and said she didn't give me anything, you'd be out of gas completely. Isn't that interesting? That's why you need to have a receipt when you let go of money. All right, now let's talk about the next thing. Dog boarding for 4 weeks. That was because you, when you left for them to handle the problem, you had to board your dog?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to find a place for my dog to stay.
Had you paid September rent?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you pay? You didn't pay October?
No.
Did you pay November?
No, I haven't paid.
Did you pay when did you move out? I'm sorry.
December 15th.
So you didn't pay October, November, or the half month of December?
Yes.
Okay. And did he ask you for rent?
He did ask me for rent. He did tell me that I was going to be using out my security. And he said that I wouldn't have to pay October because I paid September and stayed there. and did not stay there in September.
Okay. You did not collect rent in November, correct?
No, ma'am.
And you did not collect rent in December, correct?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever tell her anything about that? Did you say, hey, you got to pay rent if you want to live here?
I did.
And what happened?
I actually texted her. I have a text. She was asking me for her security deposit so she can go get another apartment.
Right.
So I told her that once she's done and returns the keys and the rent is paid up to date, that I would give her her security deposit back, which was $1,300. This is the first I ever heard of $2,600.
See, you have this, you didn't pay rent in October in order to compensate for the problems in September, all right? But then we got November and December. Whether you leave December 15th or not I don't care. If you're in there a day of December, you owe December. That's $2,600 on that side of the ledger that you owe. Now, there's a security deposit over there already, so that's $1,300 on that side of the ledger that you owe. So the question is, are you able to prove more than $1,300 in damages that would cause me to then tell him he's got to pay you something? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so 1 month is on him because of the problem. Now, you do not have a counterclaim against her. Anything you're telling me about is what we call in the law a set-off, which is, all right, Judge, I just want to get rid of this problem. I don't want to get paid, but I just, I don't want to pay her, and here's why. That's called a set-off, and that's what I'm calculating right now. And I find that you are unable to prove to me more than that $1,300 in damages. Even with the dog boarding and a generous depreciated value of the shoes based on the pictures you showed me, it still wouldn't amount to more than the $1,300. So based on that, my verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Your Honor.
So the plaintiff does not prevail here in the court. The defendant gets to keep the $1,300 security. Your problem, you didn't have receipts,
I completely understand, yes. It was definitely unfortunate that I didn't have those receipts. It's definitely something that I do feel like I do deserve. And, it is what it is, right?
When you come to court, you got to prove to the judge. Yeah, did you watch People's Court?
No, I did not.
That's your big problem right there. If you did, you would know. Receipts, you got to have them. Okay?
Yes.
So I'm sorry for you.
That's okay.
That's it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bolas. Well, that's quite a problem you had in the house. Is it cleared up, do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely cleared up, but it wasn't such a big problem. I think the problem was more with her.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So have you re-rented it now?
I did.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So you're back in operation?
Yes, sir.
All right, good for you.
Great.
All right, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
I'm gonna sign some documents. And Harvey, what do you think?
Hey, real quick, Doug, there's something called a warranty of habitability. It's implied in every lease, whether it's written or not. And that means you have a right to a place that is free of health and safety hazards. Mold is a hazard. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Atlassian. Atlassian makes the team collaboration software that powers enterprise businesses around the world, including over 80% of the Fortune 500. With Atlassian's AI-powered software like Jira, Confluence, and Loom, you'll have more time to do the work that matters. In fact, Atlassian customers experience a 25% reduction in project duration per year. Unleash the potential of your team at Atlassian.com. Atlassian.
This is the plaintiff, Linda Roundtree. She says the defendant sold a car for her, and now she can't get him to give her the money from the sale. This is an out-and-out crook. She refuses to let this guy get away with this brazen theft of her money, and is suing for the $3,200 she's owed. This is the defendant, Philip Bryant. He says the plaintiff agreed to trade in her Volkswagen for a Dodge Charger. Then, after he sold the Volkswagen, the plaintiff informed him she changed her mind. She no longer wanted the Dodge, and she demanded he pay her in cash. He tried to politely explain that wasn't their deal. She didn't want to hear it, and now here they are. He's accused of taking a customer's cash.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant's a crook who sold her a car and won't give her the money. Now, the defendant says he agreed to trade in her VW for a Dodge Charger, and the plaintiff changed her mind and wanted her money back. It's the case of Don't Bug Me.
Thank you, Douglas. Ms. Roundtree.
Yes.
You had a 2003 Volkswagen Beetle, correct?
Correct.
And you had bought it from him?
Yes.
So you brought the car back to him, and what was the discussion you and he had about him selling it?
To sell the car for me.
And what were you going to do for him?
He was going to sell the car for me, and I give him a finance fee. Which
Okay.
was
Now, according to you, the
$500.
story is very different, correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you say happened?
Well, she was in an accident. There was a collision accident.
Is that accurate?
Well, I bumped the car in my yard, and it has a little bumper thing on the back, and it wasn't big at all.
All right, so she brings a car to you, and according to you, how bad is the damage?
The front bumper was cracked. The grill insert was broken. So she brought the car in. She said that, she was interested in another vehicle because she didn't want to drive that one in that condition. I appraised
Why
it.
didn't she just fix the vehicle?
I offered to. I have a body and paint shop as well. So I offered to fix it. Gave her, my estimate based on visual damage. Of course, we need tear down time to see if there's anything further. But she wasn't interested in paying to fix it. She wanted to buy another car. So we talked about trading the vehicle in. She test drove 3 different vehicles. She was interested in a Dodge Charger and a red BMW convertible.
But she didn't purchase a new vehicle?
Did not.
All right, now according to you, was there an actual deal in place where she had been looking at a particular vehicle, a Dodge Charger?
Absolutely.
And what happened with that? When did you first learn that she no longer wanted to buy it?
After the vehicle that she traded in was sold to the new customer.
All right, now, how much did you sell it for to the new customer?
I have the paperwork here, but the sale price was $2,100.
Okay, can I see the paperwork?
Yes.
All right, so does she have a $2,100 credit?
Well, as I explained before, the vehicle was damaged when I received it, and I told her that I would pay for the repairs out of pocket as long as we were reimbursed as a company when the vehicle was sold, because I can't sell the vehicle in its current condition.
Yeah, but then who gets to decide how much the repair is? You do?
Well, we have a body and paint shop where we do estimates based on,
So yeah, you do.
Industry standard.
So then you ended up taking $1,200 for the repair. So then the only credit was $800 or $900?
I actually offered to do the repair for $700 because I wanted to give her a $500 discount, just because she's a returning customer, and the $1,200 would be hard.
So then if you sold it for $2,100,
Right.
and then there's $700 in the repair, so she should have a credit of $1,400, right?
That would be accurate, yes.
All right. Now, is any of this in writing, folks?
No.
I have not only where she signed over the title to me, where she purchased
I know
both
that.
vehicles.
Why would you sign over the title to him like that?
No,
Like just
ma'am, I
sign
did
over the title for him to sell it? How could you do that and not have something, a clear understanding in writing?
What happened was he said to me, I just want to make it legitimate to the customer, and you would do the final sale. I'm going to call you, and we're going to come together, and you do the final sale. And I trusted him. He seemed noble.
I don't know what you're saying. That's how it went down. You signed the title over, and he didn't register it in his name in the meantime. You signed the title over, it went to the customer. That's how it went down.
Yeah.
Once you sign it, your presence isn't required. Did she fill out any paperwork for the Charger or whatever other car she was looking at?
Yes, and I actually took a deposit on it, but again, in an effort to earn her business and be nice to her,
Where is that? Show me the paperwork.
I threw it away because
Okay, how's that in an effort to be nice and earn her business? You threw it away.
It was a mistake that I
completely
shouldn't have made.
incompetent,
You're right.
boneheaded move. You threw it away because
You're
the
right.
case would be over if you could show me that, right?
Is it insane to sell a car where you're not getting something in writing on what the deal is?
Yes, you should definitely get something in writing.
It's crazy, right?
Yes, it's crazy.
Is that a real ice cream cone? I've been looking at this all show.
It is. It is really good.
Is it?
It is.
Do I want to lick? I don't know where she's been. Going inside the courtroom.
I service an area that I do a lot of business on, word of mouth from my customers and good service. And oftentimes I find myself in a situation where I should have got things in writing when I was really just trying to
Just
make an
trying
effort
to be a good guy, a good egg.
To be perfectly honest, yes.
Yeah. I'll fix a car and I'll pay myself $1,200. I'll sell the car and I'll get $299, which I'm not passing on. It's business is business.
I wouldn't be able to support my business
Here's where the
selling at
problem
those high
lies.
retail.
Everything's gotten very bitter and distrustful between the two of you. So now there's supposed to be this credit for her on your side, but that would involve some kind of fair dealing where, there would be another car that everybody would be interested in. So then if her credit is $1,400, what do I do? Put you people in contact again for the sale of a car? She doesn't want to do that.
And I don't want to lose a sale after I worked hard to get it either. But
I get that, because if I believe that the deal was that it's a $1,400 credit, then that's really costs you less than $1,400 because you're making money everywhere you flip. So that's what was in your head when this agreement was entered into.
And I also took that Dodge Charger off the market because she had agreed to buy it.
So why don't you just show me the paperwork for the Dodge Charger that she filled out?
I apologize for not bringing it.
I'm going to do a little rough justice here because you don't want to do business with him, right?
Never.
Right, I know. I'm going to take into account that $1,400 represents a profit to you too. And I'm going to order a reduced amount paid to her so that there's no further contact between the two of you, because I think that's what's best for everybody. So what I'm going to order you to pay her is $1,000. That's my verdict.
So the plaintiff gets $1,000. Mr. Bryant, you made a couple of mistakes here. You threw away some documents you shouldn't have done.
Definitely.
Right?
In the future, I will definitely not make that mistake again.
And unfortunately, I think you've lost a customer. Would you agree with that?
Fair enough.
Yeah. And you got to give her back $1,000. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
That's the judge's verdict. I don't know if you're very happy about that, Ms. Roundtree, or not. What are you thinking right now?
Well, I'm glad it's over, and I'm glad other people know about it.
Yeah. Have you learned anything through all of
Yes,
this?
I have.
Like what? Tell me.
I'm not going to go on face value or trust anybody again.
Okay. Well, you've learned. All right. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Okay, Harvey.
Okay, I will tell you, it is insane to not have something in writing for the sale of a car. Literally, you are begging for a lawsuit.